After what has happened for this social hacking, it also recommended once again from the Salesforce Solution Architect. He just said that I'm not marketing this, but Salesforce Security Center app is just for that, just created for that, to do the monitoring of some of the alerts and some of the criterias that I will show you soon. You can monitor them, you can set some alerts, and also not just for one org, and specifically if you have several different orgs and you want to see the posture of the orgs in general, then that's a great fit for you. That would be also a solution for you, because I'm honestly considering once again to recommend maybe we can come up with a 1 week of trial period for again to Security Center app to see with a clearer mind, right, with more wisely at this level. Then maybe I can recommend for this app to be purchased. That would be case for your org too, right, for your company too. Suggest this one, or at least analyze it and understand what value it can provide you. After the brief introduction, let's get into it, right? Salesforce Security Center introduction. Main question regarding security concerns, if you have some security concerns, right? For example, how many employees are or aren't logging in using high security authentication protocols? Authentication protocols, we will come to that point, but this SSO, MFA, or just passwords, or several different together, then those are authentication protocols. This set of rules, protocol means set of rules for the users, right, to get into one system. How many users have powerful permissions like the modify all data? In the previous video, I tried to mention powerful permissions. Modify all data is one of them. What about pulling the right records for security reviews from multiple orgs or tenants? I think that's the most, important part, right? Maybe somehow creating a report for one specific org would be easy. However, if you are having more than 10 different orgs, imagine, would it be easy for you to just check separately one by one? And there are really different and many criteria to be checked. Imagine having one dashboard, bringing all the tenants together into one, and you are observing, you are creating, setting some criteria for them. I think very, very beneficial. The next question, what happens when you throw multiple Salesforce orgs into the mix with multiple regulatory requirements? It is exactly what I mentioned. So in that regard, we are having Salesforce Security Center. Those are the main topics. For the Salesforce troubleshooting tools, you may have considering login histories, monitor login attempts, which application used logged into, which API version, TLS version. Those little details come to the stage. View setup, audit trail, monitor setup changes, customizations, setup changes done in an org, then transaction security policies, monitor unauthorized or malicious events, any malicious REST or API events on an org. You may be considering if you have any transaction security policy set for your org. You can go to setup and then check those transaction policies if you have any. Then event monitoring, it's recently just enabled, I think, from the Salesforce side, that you can really go to setup and type event monitoring dashboard where you can pick one of those different events and you can start monitoring that one. Next topic is like those troubleshooting tools are org specific, as I mentioned, and only troubleshooting the changes happening in one particular instance. But what about Security Center, which is monitoring security changes, not just one org, but across different tenants? Security Center gives you a single dashboard full of high-level security and governance matrices like authentication methods, permission assignments, installed packages, health check scores and settings, security-related user and configuration matrices is also part of that. With the help of this app, you can identify usage patterns that might violate policies, understand your overall security posture, gather data for security audits more efficiently. You can get high-level metrics, totals for basic reporting, or dig into detailed reports to investigate changes and totals for specific days. I think that's also important because, as I mentioned, like with the dashboard, you can specify for different days time slot, so you can create different metrics and you can dig into more details if you need. Those are the main titles under this app, right? You may have authentication, configuration, permissions, user, and monitoring, and you have the dashboard. You have many connected tenants. You can alert settings and security policies. And after creating those alerts and policies, you may pick the tenant you want those alerts and configuration to be deployed to. You are not here using the metadata, and at the higher level, right, at the UI level, you can simply deploy your changes to throughout the several different orgs that you want it to be there. Yeah, by that way, you can understand that for one tenant, you can set different, and then for the another tenant, you can set also differently. So it is how it looks. Indeed, it is a bit small, but you can understand that even it is, I think, improved more because it is 1 years ago. With each release, you know that for Salesforce applications, you are having the enhancements. But at the below part, you see the authentication configuration. Under the configuration, you have several different options like connect apps, encryption policies, field level encryption, license usage, login IP ranges. So I wasn't that much aware 1 year ago, but now those really make sense for me to somehow put some alerts for connected apps. Imagine you can later I will show you that you can set an alert for if the number of connected app for that org increases, just send me an email. Then by that way you can be aware of how many connected app are created, who created this one, why created. The next one is mainly mentioning about alerts. You can view that for the last 7 days alerts, configuration alerts, permission alerts, user alerts, and threats detection, also session hijacking, credential stuffing, report anomaly. If something is not normal, you can also obviously see that. Health check and optimizer is different topic, but with the health check, there is this score or specifically given scores according to the some criteria that you put throughout the several orgs. You can also see the scores and then say that if a score goes under 7, then I can get an email. Definitely. I mentioned this already for the configuration part. You have this connected apps and several different one trusted IP ranges, for instance, just transaction security policies, health check. For each of them, you can set an alert and get a notification out of that. Simplify monitoring your security posture by setting up custom alerts in Security Center. Create custom alerts to immediately learn about changes made to security settings. Alerts notify you by email or Salesforce app. Instead of periodically checking, you need to do this checking, right? But instead of periodically checking the assigned permissions for each tenant, you can create an alert for it. Then whenever change happens, then you get the alert. Then you receive an email in app. Then the total users with the modify all data permission exceeds your specified threshold or increase it, then you get an email. Then you can also utilize Flow to connect these changes to your own business processes. You can create a custom to deploy security setting to another or without metadata file. My question here came to my mind because not using metadata here, would it be the best option or not for the consistency? Sometimes the package is source of truth, right? But I'm not sure if those settings are settled in the package or not. That could be the question that you can raise and discuss. And the last one is I put some here, not visible at all, a lot I know, but you can use alert types, right? For this one, external user alerts, you can see that login with MFO all is more than one, then get an email. You can set several different criteria. For connected app, increased, get an email. Encryption policy changes, get an email. Login IP range changes, it is not just change, right? And get an email. Someone edit different IP range. And would it be kind of, if it is anomaly change, if someone not authorized edit an IP range, then let me know about that. Manage packages, security health check, and if baseline changes, total licenses increases or decreases for anything that you can come up with, you can set an alert and then you can be notified. And that's it. From my part, I think you get the sense of this security center, right? You might be considering this. But for me personally, it seems after what has happened, right, it makes sense to at least try and come up with some use cases. If you see that it provides value, then why not to recommend it to the management? Thank you very much and see you at the next video.